At Get Haunted and Get Haunted Midwest, we don't just put on events, we give you an experience. Grab the gear, master the methods, use the tools the professionals use to bridge the gap. From the Estes method to traditional seances, you aren't just watching the investigation, you're part of it.
Repeat peanut butter.
Capture the evidence, hear the voices, experience the history firsthand. Every event is structured so you rotate through the most active spots, learning from the best. The spirits are waiting. Secure your tickets now at extremeticketing.com. Ready to join the hunt? Here's where we'll be. Join Get Haunted and Get Haunted Midwest at these historic locations. Tickets for all events are available now at extremeticketing.com. Don't be left in the dark.
Hello, everyone. This is going to be another on the whiteboard stream, live interactive theorizing like we did last time. The last time we did this for a fundraiser stream for Rob's mother, which that GoFundMe is still active and available. If you want to go donate to that, you can. But this is not specifically a fundraiser stream. This is just a live theorizing stream. And for those who do not know what on the whiteboard is, on the whiteboard was inspired by what Get Haunted University is doing on school. We also have Rob here on screen. Hello, Rob.
Hi.
So on the whiteboard was and now he's gone. Bye, Rob. On the whiteboard was something that I thought of that was inspired by Get Haunted University on school.com, where it's a place where we have real conversations, asking the real questions. It is community based. And so I thought, what if I could make it a way to where we could take all these comments and posts that sometimes are just in word form, where everyone's piecing together their thoughts and their opinions and their theories and comments. What if there was a way that I could take everyone's thoughts and tie them together on a whiteboard? So this is what this is. For everyone that's watching this on YouTube and Facebook, ignore this on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. That's my own stuff. I made a boundary. So we're all going to pick a topic to talk about. Anything. It can literally be anything about the paranormal, spirituality, or the universe. Pick a random topic, and we're going to break it down. Think about it. Theorize it as a community live on stream. Because take for an example, and then we'll take for one example before we hop right into it. There are times to where someone in the community or Rob and Sarah, we ask a general question. How do you think ghosts move? What's your opinion on equipment, etc., etc.? And there's so many people in comments giving their own take, their own theories, their own input. This is a place, a visual, interactive place to where I can put everything together on a whiteboard and make it more of like a visual cohesive unit to piece it all together at one time. So saying that, welcome everybody to On the Whiteboard. This will be brought to school.com soon, but I wanted everyone to have a piece of it as well here. Before we hop into it, hi Sarah, how's it going? Um, Uh, Rob Stats. Well, what is happening? I don't know. Um, and Rob Stats again. Um, so, question for all of you. I also like how on Streamer the comment thing is working well. Anyway, what should we talk about? The last time that we did a whiteboard stream, we talked about, and we can re-talk about all this. We can rehash stuff from the past here in the future. But the last time we talked about was how ghosts move, why ghosts move through through walls, how we perceive ghosts or spirits movement. We touched a little bit on how the universe brings stuff to us in life, like just how like karma and stuff. And we also talked about um Wade Kirby brought up do aliens have a god? Do aliens have a religion? Um which I'll be honest, that was one of the last things we talked about, and I was getting quite tired at that time, so we didn't dive too deep on that one. But saying that, does anybody here have a topic that they want to dive deep deep on? Sarah, Rob. I also forgot to comment with an hello, Stacy. But what should we dive deep on first? What should we go deep? What should we dive deep first? Um, the last time that we did this, we got pretty far, and like we filled up almost the whole board on how spirits move. We could do that again. Um, let me see if anybody on TikTok can say anything. Uh, Haunted findings on TikTok. This is a community effort. Yes, indeed. Nice to see you. I hope you're having a good time. Uh, cool. Uh, let's see. Sarah, thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Um, all right, okay, here we go. Sarah says, and for those on TikTok, Sarah Jane says, um, do aliens also have hauntings from hauntings of those from their own past? I never thought about that shit. All right. Ooh, okay. That's not how you spell that. Good enough though. All right. I have one, but all right. So, do ali do aliens have their own hauntings from their own pasts? Where should we start? Um, See, and where my mind initially went. Sorry, I'm thirsty. Give me one second. Sorry. Okay. Where my mind initially went at first is, I'll be honest, very, very vague. Because when I think of aliens, I think of like the universe like as a whole, and that's always a hard topic for me to start on. So let's see. Um, if aliens are solid beings, according to Sarah, if aliens are solid beings with souls and they pass on, do they leave behind something? Do they leave behind something that back for ancestors? Hmm, that's a good question. All right. All right. So in theory, right? I know this is a very odd place to start. And if they're solid beings, do they have souls? Hard to ask these. Exactly. And Sarah, if you want to come on stream and like talk like I am and to like piece things together more fluidly and quickly, then come on over. Um, but so this is an odd place to start on this thing, but take I'm what I'm thinking is in a human experience perspective. I'm looking at TikTok. Sorry, no comments yet, which is fine. Um, if we're yes, Sarah, I'm in the streamer. If you want to hop on it. So if humans and aliens, what are some things that they have in common? Because now I could be totally far off here, but aliens are the same concept of humans, just way more advanced from a different planet, from a different universe. Do they, in theory, now I know this is going to probably be far-fetched thought, considering what we stereotypically know aliens as, um, which are extraterrestrial beings, but humans are solid. We're made of electricity, synapses, flowing liquid, blood. Um, hello.
Hello.
Um, I don't know why I thought about the humans to aliens first, but your comment about aliens being solid.
Well,
What did you think
right.
about that?
So it'd be much easier if I just to try to
Yeah.
write it all right. I'm trying to do it quick. So if we believe aliens are beings who are more than, a microscopic amoeba or something like that, right? If we believe they are those that fly spacecraft, right, and
Yeah.
roam the universe, then do we believe because it's a living being, do they carry a soul? Because there are theories that we connect with them like through our consciousness, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If that's the situation and one passes on, would one have to believe that then they also have ghosts out there of past aliens?
See, and the first thing that I thought whenever you said that is, and this is just going off what we as humans know so far, or think so far about spirits as well. Like when we die, there's a concept of belief that our soul, our vessels die, our soul stays on the earth, passes in through realms on Earth near the surface. People often describe it as like a flowing river of energy. We're on Earth, so we're going through different realms. But if aliens, in theory, did the same thing, aliens have the ability to travel through universes, as far as we're aware. So their flowing energy boundaries, I guess, for lack of better terms, is much greater. So,
But is it? Because once it's consciousness. So,
yeah,
and I'll be straight up, like aliens are not in my wheelhouse. I am not
they're
well versed in this. I am simply trying to get uncomfortable here with the questioning of
yeah,
if we believe aliens have made contact with us. Like I would love to be able to speak with somebody that has had interaction. if they are to make physical contact with us, and we know that there is, for lack of, I guess, a better word, the breeding, the family basis of what happens, when one passes, do we assume everything that passes then can come back? I'll just use haunt for the lack of a better word here, because coming back in spirit, right? So we say, hey, Damien, we
Hello.
say when our animals pass, right, that they go to heaven and, I've had interaction with my pet after it's passed, right? So if does that happen out in the wild too? When a bear loses its cub, does the cub come back and haunt it? I mean, like, at what point is haunting such a human thing? Is coming back in spirit such a human understanding? I would assume, if we're looking at alien life forms and they do connect with us through consciousness, would they have the same ability to come back in such a way that is sort of like a haunting? I mean, I know we understand hauntings the way we do through years of conditioning and of belief systems and Hollywood.
Right.
But there's something to experiences of energies connecting.
Now, one thought as well, whenever humans pass, our immediate thought, as far as paranormal investigating goes, other than using our bodies to investigate, like senses, what you did with the inner eye, so on and so forth, the only equipment that we have is like REM pods, spirit boxes, IRL shit. IRL. What the hell's the fucking?
The red lights?
You look like a stick figure on the fucking screen.
Oh yeah.
Those things.
Oh my god! Now I can't think of it.
And SLS and SLS.
SLS, yes.
Yes. That's the technology that us humans have to see our past loved ones, spirits, ghosts, demons, all that shit. Aliens, I'm sure, are trillions of years past that technology, and they have the ability to do all this tech that we consider high tech now, old tech.
Okay, but see, I'm going to fight you on this for a second, and I see, I don't. Is it a Zariana? I don't want to say your name incorrectly. So we think they're years ahead technology wise, but they're just where they are technology wise. It doesn't mean they're ahead. It's all relative, isn't it? Like,
yeah, because time really don't exist to them, more than likely. Because time's a construct that was made by humans.
Well, right, and they also didn't start. We are all acting as if we are all starting from the same point, and we're not. Yeah. Right?
Damn, this is a good one. Okay.
And I am not, like everybody knows, I'm not hyper scientific. I am not, and again, alien is not my wheelhouse, but I'm trying to break it down to the basics here. And I think we automatically believe aliens are coming from a much, yes, it's different from our knowledge, but they also aren't on Earth, starting from earthly points. And we also don't know when their life started compared to Earth's first human being. So it's all relative, I would think.
Yeah. You're really good at this shit.
And if they're not human, and I love Wade Kerr, and I think I just had this conversation not that long ago with Rob. I think I posed the question actually on the network. When aliens, religion, the Bible written by human beings would not be understood the same. But is there one, I don't want to say has to, is there one greater being, whatever that is to you, God, higher being, higher consciousness that created this big, beautiful universe? So, of course, they're not going to have religion like we have religion because ours is very human, but do they have acknowledgement of the higher being? And if they do, does that automatically give them the insight to understand once one of theirs passes? Do they mourn? Do they have that belief? Could they have that? We shouldn't say would. Could they have that belief system that now they've passed? Do they continue on a form of memory or memorial for them? Do they create stories for them? Right? Does this, to me, it would be universal, the cycle of energy and connection, right? Animals have it, plants have it, everything has a connection, right?
Right. Yeah, everything that has, electricity, which is almost everything in life, has a connection to the universe, like as a whole, because energy can't be created or destroyed, so it has to go somewhere. So to
Yeah, I'm
aliens,
wading way out into the deep end here, and I
no,
have
I like it.
zero flotation device.
That's good. That I like where this is going. Just this is a good thing, but you're handing me a lot of information, and I'm like, where the fuck do I start?
Well, I mean, I
Um,
feel like I almost need to probably take a couple of hits here and really like settle into it. But it's, when we think about the term connection, why are we connected as living human beings? Why are we so pulled to things in the universe? Why are, when we look at astrology, when we look at, right, like the constellations, all that stuff that is somehow then that has come back to us as a human, right? When the tide and the moon connection, my guess would be we are all truly connected in the universe, and in some way I'm sure we all do have some form. And Stacey, I don't know what question. Yes, what to my hits? I don't know what you're saying yes to. But you know what I mean? But like, we're connected to universe. I think most people who sit in any kind of self-awareness, certain phases of the moon, right? Certain
yeah,
phases of the moon we're affected by, the earth is affected by. So if that's the case, right? Like if that's the case, how similar would our experiences be with something like death? Because everything living has death, everything.
right.
I mean, cells, right? Down to the last. So is that connectiveness and the inevitable of death something that carries throughout universe? And and if that's the case,
Yeah.
is the universe haunted? I don't know. Okay, I'll stop talking. Like, I should
No,
have never
No,
come to this because you
no,
have me. I love this concept, by the way. This is so amazing and so awesome.
thank you. But no, you're staying because now you're making me work. Um, okay, one thing to add to that, reincarnation,
Yeah.
because I know this is gonna like kind of poke fun at what Stacy said earlier about probing and stuff, but I hear about probing and experimenting, and testing and stuff on humans when they get abducted and stuff, which that's a whole other topic in and of itself. But once an alien dies, could it be possible? It probably is possible. Like in theory, when an alien dies, do they have the technology or the ability to transfer the spiritual bodily energy of a dead alien directly into a baby alien or just another alien or another vessel, and then that universal energy, whether the memories of the previous vessel or the previous life gets carried over or not, is unknown. Could
Well,
the
here's the problem with that theory, though, and this is where I think our brains can only expand. You know, we know universe is big. We cannot understand how big. Our brains won't allow us to. But if we are to believe that aliens have surpassed us in so many areas, I mean, they know what they know. We kind of put it like I think, you know, we kind of dumb it down. We say we're the dumb ones in the universe and they're here to do these things to us. But the reality is, are we all just in our own world, so to speak, curious about what's out there? But if they are a different form of life, we're this form of life. And maybe that's what each being truly is. We're like kind of like baby, toddler, young kid, teenager, young adult, senior citizen. Maybe that's how these beings are set up, right? And where we are in our understanding. So I would assume if we are going to go with aliens are that much more advanced than us, perhaps they also don't have the worldly human desires and distractions and all that stuff. So is their consciousness, their self-awareness so much more advanced because they don't have all this? So their reincarnation is just the simple piece of living where we're still trying, like we're probably the toddlers. I don't think we're the new babies. I don't think we're the new babies. I really don't. I don't think we're the dumbest ones in the universe either.
No, that would be Mars. I'm kidding.
Or maybe we're kids. Maybe we're not even toddlers, you know. But I think we're sitting here, you know, and every being has this amazing. I mean, you even look at what we have on Earth. When you look at what trees are capable of with their root systems, right? Mm-hmm. And we see how rivers flow and connect, and they're, you know, all these living pieces of the earth and what it creates. Not every planet has all that, right?
Right. Okay. Do you think
am I talking too much? I'm sorry.
No, you're never talking too much. You're this. I mean, you're way better at saying this stuff than I am, and that's not just because I mean that's a fact. I literally just go off of what I know and hope for the best, which sometimes can be a bad thing. But because it's like in the last stream, Damien brought up a question about the Grim Reaper. I'm like, the only thing I know about the Grim Reaper is like Billy and Mandy Cartoon Network shit.
Here, I'm gonna read off to you. Since you're doing that, I'll help you with the comments I'll boot off so everybody else has an opportunity here. But Azariana, you know, she seems to be very well versed here in things alien. Aliens live among us. They are the hybrid that are here. She also says we are primitive compared to them. They are different than ghosts, spirits, etc. She also says we were their experiment and seeded from them. They have done this for many civilizations. We aren't the first. She also says they don't have a short lifetime. Humans do. Yes, we do. Sometimes way too short. Beth Brown Lee, hello. She says they need us to survive. We are them. We were created to harvest resources they need. Think of it as the queen bee, and we are the workers. Azariana says, because we question, the ones that are connected to the universe or aliens see the bigger picture. But I think this is where, when we sit here, and no disrespect, Azariana, and because I love this piece, we think they see the bigger picture, but they might not, right? Like, this is what we know, and to us, what they see is the bigger picture. But what if we are the more advanced planet, not necessarily intelligence, but what if we are truly the most advanced planet? And maybe that was the creation. In more intelligent on less advanced planets equals this knowledge, but more advanced planet with lesser intelligence kind of creates this level of knowledge. Again, I kind of keep seeing, and Stacy, I don't know why I feel like I need your backup here, because again, this is not my wheelhouse, but I keep seeing, or I keep feeling like I'm seeing the stages of a baby. I keep seeing this particular poster in the pediatric office of, newborn, baby, toddler, child, preteen, teen, young adult. Like, I keep seeing sort of that visual.
Okay. Question to add to this, and for Ariana, considering we're saying like keywords like levels, stages, aliens were probably here years before us, like in the universe, not like on Earth. Part of this comes into play with simulation theory, as like, are we just a test subject, not specifically us, but like how the Earth runs? Are we just a simulation to see if what the aliens have planned for us will work or not? And I know that's a very vague thing to think about, but every time you mention us compared to them, there's levels, there's stages, there's comparisons, as if we are being built or created or coded. Do you think that there is a simulation aspect of where the aliens are thinking, this isn't how they're living, let's do research and gather information on them, this is what we gave them, how is it working out?
What if, Trevor? What if we are the ghost of them? What if different galaxies, right? I've heard people use the theory that aliens are just future humans. What if, since there is no time and space, but the different galaxies, right? And what if it's not even different galaxies, but dimensions, and we are them of the past? Living, how people say, like, when you're awake you're asleep, and when you're asleep you're awake.
Yeah.
Sort of that scenario. I don't know, everybody's, and I love Micah. I am a Neanderthal. Micah, hey girl. And I love what she's saying here, because she's talking about time zones, right? So absolutely, but there is no time and space. Time zones, Micah, that's all.
Time zones are stupid. I wish we all the same fucking thing. But
so anyway. Micah, yes, you and I are talking about the same thing here. What if, what we're really because I think, again, we talk about advanced in Zariana, I'm not ignoring your she's sharing with us that she's been abducted since she was 5. We see them as advanced, but what if they're just, they're advanced in comparison to who? Us, perhaps, but we also could be advanced to another planet. Could be another planet out there that has a living form and consciousness, that has awareness of us or a belief of us, and we could be the advanced life form, right? But amongst all this life form, doesn't matter what planet, what galaxy you're in, if you are a life form, does that automatically give you consciousness? And if you have consciousness, does that automatically give you a soul? And if you have a soul and you die, is there a possibility of hauntings and or coming back? That's my question.
That's a damn good question.
Sorry, Trev.
No. Going off that though, and this may be in the direction you're going to, or it may not be, but whenever we die and the energy that we have leaves our body, what if sometimes, if not all, like all the time, the energy that leaves our body goes into a realm or a flowing energy river that's just like constantly active, and which I assume a flowing energy that's been passed on has a frequency. I would assume, hopefully, or in theory, the human vessel isn't what provides the energy with the frequency, because like radio waves have a frequency and it's not a living person. What if aliens could ride those waves or intercept the energy that's been passed on by people that have passed, and they can take that said energy and either re-implement it as far as simulation that goes into someone else for a new test, or they could take that energy and implement it into an alien, and that energy that passed on from someone who's died is going to get re-implemented into a future self 10, 20 years, a decade down the line, and then our knowledge of memories and the knowledge that our vessel gained by existing gets reanimated into something new through a different realm of channels. Hopefully that made sense.
What if, and I'm not saying this is not in every situation, right? This would not, because we don't know. I don't think it's like there's humans and then there's like aliens, and those aliens all are super similar. Like, you have to believe that if we are this different in being than an alien on another planet, then aliens from other planets would be different, not just green and gray as people talk about, right? Those are, I think, perhaps there's other alien life forms that are much different than the ones we think. But what if certain people here who have memory of being abducted, what if that was truly a memory of a past alien situation that has been reincarnated? It's kind of like the past life situation where, the more science is going into memory of DNA on a cellular level, we call things, especially in the spiritualistic world, that's your past life. You are afraid of this. It's because in a past life you drowned, right? So you're afraid of water. And what it's really coming down to is you're picking up things from your ancestry because it is embedded in your DNA on a cellular level. So what if some of those memories are not that you were taken to a spaceship, but it was your time in a spaceship as a different being?
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And why actually, let me go and write that down. Can you, long story short, what you just said, so I can put it on here to kind of repiece the dots real quick about the spaceship.
You've
Like,
got, there's so many, just so everybody knows, there are so many comments, and I cannot almost keep up with this.
uh,
Clearly the
uh,
alien talk was something
pause,
people truly
pause.
wanted.
Okay, you are back. You were gone for like 10 seconds. Okay, good. Okay, but yes, there's a lot of comments, and also while you were talking, some good stuff, but also I don't want to lose the thought here, and this may go nowhere, but I don't know. We can travel in our dreams to like outer body experiences, so we can visit. All right, so my brain went to residual energy in a sense. So take for example, like this happened to me. This happens to me almost every time I go to a haunted location. It's nothing great. It's nothing spectacular. It's just you witness it. I witness it. Rob does. Everyone that goes there does, to an extent, somewhere, somehow. Um, an example. MSP. It's the first thing that popped in my head. Missouri State Pen. Every time I go there, I walk down the hallways and I hear some sort of planking on the metal bars or screaming or something. The residual energy of the path. I'm walking the path spiritually of what people from the past were living. That's just how residual energy works in a nutshell that we know so far. Walking down on the death row, you hear screaming, you hear shaking of the cells. And fast forwarding to where take for an example, Kaylee Basinger, she got a cool picture of what looks to be an alien at I almost said Fort Knox.
Oh, Fort Duffield.
Fort Duffield. I don't know why my brain was blanking on that. At
Mhm.
Fort Duffield, she caught what looks to be an alien coming out of the woods. What if how us humans we can walk the same path as previous humans and hear, feel, and see what they felt? It's like we're walking through their energy flow. What if aliens do the same thing for us, whether we are alive or dead? What if there is uh, a human a human experience fingerprint that is being left on every step that we take, both mentally, physically, and audially? Like, say for example, if I walk through a I know this is a weird example, but it's just for the first thing that popped in my head. If I'm walking through an open field and I'm just taking in all of nature and stuff, and say I accidentally step in a pothole and I hurt my leg for a few seconds, but I get back up and I go, and then say for example, I hear a noise in the trees that startles me, and then it's just like trying to avoid, trying to be cautious, but also trying to be cautious in a physical sense, but in an audio sense. And then I keep going on that journey, so on and so forth. What if an alien comes down in that exact same spot, walks my exact same path, but before he gets to that pothole, before it gets to that part in the woods to where noises start to sound weird, he knows it's coming because they can feel the residual in energy state of what we once felt, alive or dead. So like the alien's walking, and he doesn't, he just subconsciously knows don't walk there, and like our past residual in energy is actively communicating in real time with them,
Mhm.
and we can talk to aliens without talking to aliens through our subconscious energy. that we leave behind. That was a rant, but that's where.
Well,
That's
I
what.
think that's how theories are built, is by getting out the thoughts. And I think,
Yeah.
and I think you're on the whiteboard is such a brilliant idea, because I think if we don't start talking about these things, and look, some things are going to land, some things aren't, and that's okay. This is how we start to dig into our curiosity. But I think kind of how I understand what you're saying, like if we're there's dimensions, right? The different dimensions, and so do those lines cross? And is that what happens when we have interaction with ghosts or aliens or something? Like you said, though, like if that alien being comes exactly where you just were and had an accident, as you spoke of,
Yeah.
does that dimension sort of cross? Do they connect? Do they intersect? Right? And he has an idea on what has happened to you. I mean, I don't know. Is there the constant bends, kind of like the waveforms, right? Frequencies, the waveforms, and sometimes they spike up, and sometimes, they connect, they intersect. I mean, this is the part that we speak as human beings. We speak with such certainty about things we cannot see or hear or with proof, right? Yeah. It's the unexplainable. And I think any of the theories are so possible here. And if there is no time and space, then death is just it's not the way we view death, right?
Oh yeah, no,
it isn't.
Yeah, no, death to me, and I know this might strike a few chords in the emotional aspect of things, but I have experienced a lot of death in my life with and a lot of those around me who have passed all have had different religions, all have had different ideas about what happens after the fact. Some of those people were Christian, Methodist, Catholic, Satanist, atheists, and before they tragically passed, we all at some point in life, close friends, high school buddies, and so on and so forth, we've all had, because they all know that I'm in this type of field, we've all had conversations about what life after death is to each and every one of us, and the same outcome that gets brought up every single time is we all have a conversation, we theorize, we say what we believe and hope for, but in the end, it always ends with, I hope I'm right. I hope it's this. And I don't really know how to. I had an idea there. I just don't know how to make it make sense.
Well, so to your point, right? Christianity, Judaism, Muslim, atheist, all the religions in between. Buddhism not a religion practice, but Hindu, all the religions, right? The reality is, when those are living aspects, those are for the living. That is to induce faith, to get us through our living moments, and to overcome the fear of death, or for some to fear death and what happens to us after death. But let's be honest, to think that when we pass, everybody wants to be right, but there's not going to be denominations up or out in universe, right? When you pass, we all become what we become. My guess would be the most surprising would maybe be the atheist, if what paranormal research and studies have shown, and there are some scientific studies here, that there is more, that the light doesn't just turn off, right? So possibly atheists would be the most surprised to find out that
Yeah.
it doesn't just end, that there's something more.
And one thing, I think I just lost my thought. I have so much stuff in my head.
Why are you
Yeah.
blurry?
Why am I blurry?
Yeah. Oh, now you're not. You were a little
Oh,
blurry.
this is a webcam, so maybe if I'm so far back, it tries to focus on the board and not me. I don't know. There's like a 4 foot space between me and the camera, so I don't know.
So I
But
think even with the religious aspect of it, right, then and if it does truly become consciousness after we pass, whatever that means, and none of us, to my knowledge, are dead right now, so we don't have the answer.
yeah,
But if it's all consciousness and all living beings are, once again, if they're all a being that has consciousness, what does that mean when the vessel, like you just put it, when the vessel is done, what
yeah.
does happen to that consciousness?
Oh, I remember what I was going to say, and it builds off of what you're saying now. And I've said this multiple times on stream here, but this theory came from when I was a kid, or not a kid, a teenager, when I started questioning everything, and about the time my mom started to hate me. I'm kidding. But um, but what if heaven and hell is a spiritual mindset? Um, I've told you this in the past too, and we've talked about this. But what if um, while we're alive, we are atoning, or not atoning? I guess that may be the right word, but tuning. What if we are tuning our frequency to slowly make it to what it becomes whenever we do die? And then this could also kind of in turn tie back to aliens as well, because I'm sure they have a lot more control over the frequencies in which they travel. Um, but take for an example, like if I'm 80 and I'm on my deathbed and I'm thinking happy thoughts, like I had a great life, I love my family, I did great things. If I die right now, I'm happy, and then boom, I die. I died with a good slash heavenly mindset. Whenever my energy leaves my body, does that frequency, whether a good frequency is high or low, what if that frequency gets put out into the universe as, say, a good frequency is high and a bad frequency is low? Say my energy gets put out into the universe past the vessel's standpoint as a high frequency, and the high frequency can manipulate flow or reach certain spiritual levels, rather than if someone died with a negative mindset or a low frequency, and a low frequency is more in like a limbo hellish state because it doesn't have the right capabilities at its frequency to do what a good frequency could.
Right. So there are theories where, high vibing, low vibing, if you take even
Yeah.
just the simple practice of Reiki, and we talk about the top chakras versus the bottom chakras when we're talking about the main 7 ones. So I do have a tendency to believe what you just said, that heaven and hell are a state of mind, a state of being, not an actual location. I know we say above and below. So I get what you're saying, but when you start talking universe and you talk about positive and negative, it's not black and white. It's not good or bad. It's positive and negative, and you need the two, right?
Yeah.
So what would be the frequency that would outweigh the frequency that what if you lived your entire life as a high vibing person, but the way you passed puts you in a low vibing moment? Does that mean living at a high vibe all your life, this gets booted out of the way because of the way you passed? And then is that what determines your heaven or hell experience?
I have one thing to add on to that, and we're both grew up in the analog era, so you should understand this. um, um, did you ever own a manual knob radio? I just want to be nice. I don't want to call you old out the
I was
game.
born in
Right?
1971, Trevor. Yes.
Okay. Since we're both old, no, I'm kidding. Um, um, to tune that radio, those knobs were very tight, so you had to turn them slow. There was no like It was there was a lot of pressure, a lot of like you had to tune it very very slow to get to one end or the other.
Well, right, because you
Uh,
didn't want to rip through the stations.
yeah. And so, take for example, station 10 and station, 100.1. 10 is hell, 1.100.1 is heaven. And say that knob to turn, well, not say it just was. It's really slow. You don't want to break it, change the frequency too much. If you could change the frequency too fast, would that be a bipolar radio? That's a side thought. Sorry, my brain went to a dumb joke. But anyway, um, what if in life changing the frequency is as slow as turning the knob to where like if you spent all of your life being happy and good and awesome and optimistic, that on your deathbed you got sad and you started to have a hellish or negative or low frequency spiritual change. But sorry, TikTok's giving me a warning. I gotta do a little test to prevent modern robot. Yes, I get it. I gotta fill in this puzzle so I don't end stream. Cool. Awesome. Anyway, so what if yeah, so what if we lived a whole life with optimism and great attitude, and on our deathbed, negative thoughts, bad thoughts, but what if those bad thoughts were only tuning our frequency really slowly, so we didn't die with a negative or hellish thoughts because we didn't
Right.
have enough time to turn that dial all the way down. So just because we died with, oh, I hate this,
Right.
we still died in a heavenly mindset.
So it would, right. And if you passed in your sleep, would you know? So here's the other part
True.
to that, to what you're saying, Trevor. Same would go for somebody who, say, is incarcerated for heinous crimes against humans. And, the theory is, oh, but if you accept Jesus Christ into your heart right before you die, you're accepted. So all that, all your, is gone. So I think this is where, this is a little bit of the Buddhist, I don't know if you've ever read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, but, when you start thinking of, as a living human being, we only utilize such a very small part of our brain and our consciousness and our awareness. Even those who believe they are fully aware, they're only as aware as they know. They don't know what they're not aware of. So when we peel this vessel off and we are consciousness, I guess we believe we're at one frequency. We might believe we live in a higher vibing sort of space, right? Or we might believe, Micah has put that, she's not the most positive person, but being positive, Micah, in comparison to what? Because consciousness and what you are aware of in this life could be two very different things, right? So I think when it comes to death, and we've kind of now you've got me on a whole other mindset here, but when we
Good.
start to talk about death and what it means to who we are, we anchor ourselves to these well, I guess we just anchor ourselves with things like religion and practice and culture, to get us through to the next level, right? But I don't know if we could ever really say like, oh, I knew Trevor and he was just such a high vibing dude. He's got a high frequency. Like in the end, we just don't know what we don't know. And maybe that's the acceptance of where you are in your frequency, and that's the heaven. And the battle within yourself is what that hell sort of turns into, because you either accept where your consciousness goes, which I don't know what that exactly means, or
I don't, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and just because you've passed, and maybe that's where we get angry sort of spirits from. We always hear, which is I dislike this phrase probably as much as there are investigators out there who say we have to respect ghost. I really do not like the phrase, if you were a dick in life, you're a dick in death. That phrase actually is frustrating because, that then gives little weight to what consciousness is. And if you can never escape what you were in this living life with the distractions, the struggles, the chemical imbalances, the things we do to ourselves, the food we eat, the pollution we're in, if you can never escape that, then consciousness, what's the point?
True.
But is it not even that if you were a dick in death, could it be the acceptance of what consciousness is, or the fight you have with accepting what consciousness is? Is that what makes angry or negative energy imprints in the world? I don't know. Now you have me now all in my head, Trevor, and I'm sure people are like, what the hell is even happening right now?
Welcome to On the Whiteboard, where we will end up somewhere. We started on aliens. Now we're on.
I just asked if aliens, if they die, do they have ghosts? And here we are now talking. But I think this is, again, this is where I think we take for granted. I think as human beings, this is the one thing we take for granted. We try to differentiate ourselves in everything we do, with titles, with schooling, with titles, with, money situations, whatever. The way we look, we will modify our looks, we will, whatever. But the one thing that we have in common with absolutely everything, all the way to stars, is that everything dies.
Yeah.
Every living thing dies.
And one thing that I do want to kind of off topic from that, but I had it in mind. Who was it that said it? I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm sorry, but Micah Hofstra or Micah.
Oh, Micah. Micah.
Yeah. When Micah said, "Not the most positive person on Earth." No, you're fine. I'm not the most positive person on Earth, so my frequency is lower than low. Maybe not, but also going off of what Adam Sherpy said, What happens if you get murdered without knowing? And so, going
Right.
off that, getting taken from this world all of a sudden without prior knowledge. So you just let's break that down even further to dying without notice. Um, Dying without notice, and then like Mike said, because of the world that we live in and how we're trained and people's brains and how we react and feel, and that may also be because of how your in individual life is and how it got handed to you. No judgment. We all had it. We've all been there. Due to how life is and how you take it and deal with it, whether you keep it to yourself or you share your experiences with, with others. But when life hands you shit, when life just does and it makes you feel bleh, and then getting taken off this world unknowingly, maybe all of that can be healed and can be, this is like a better terms, corrected or counterbalanced by what we all know and love as karma. Like, and like take like with the Sarah's thing with the be badass and kind and the tokens, things that we put out into the world for positivity and encouragement that we don't necessarily need to know how it makes the other person feel other than happy. Maybe the simple things and the things in life that no matter what bad mood or neutral mood that we are in, like there have been days I've had a shitty day, but I still take time to give a homeless man water or open the door for a person in like a wheelchair. Just like I'm in a pissy mood, I'm like, yeah, here, sorry, yeah, you go ahead, yeah, and have a good day. I'm like in a horrible mood, but I still help. What if karma and positive vibes and helping others, even that even though you're in an opposite mood, sends frequencies out into the world that is like, hey, you're not feeling great, but your frequency is still high because of what you do, not how you feel.
Right. So what we don't want to confuse, and I can speak from personal experience with Micah, what you don't want to confuse is a bad mood with a bad person. And Micah
Exactly.
is
Exactly.
far from a bad person. She may feel she's not the most positive person. However, I have experienced Micah forwarding positive things to me, even when she has had a bad day or, struggling with loss, and things that I will not,
Oh
that
yeah.
are not mine to share. But
Right.
she has found that moment to be human, right? And she acknowledges other human beings. So we never want to equate bad moods, struggling moments, anything that we might struggle with mentally, mental health situations, right? We never want to equate that to a bad person that then has low vibes that then would be sent to hell. Like that,
Yeah.
that to me, so what you're saying, yes, bad mood, but still have the ability to do good things. Those are
Because
different, you know.
when Micah said like I'm on a positive person, so my frequency is really low, I'm like, not necessarily. Like I've I've had horrible days at work to where like I just wanted, I mean not wanted. Some days I've literally had so bad days at work that I have cried in my truck. And so, but just simply, but like even though I've had those bad days, I think to myself, you know, there's this guy that on my route to where he is a veteran and he's in a wheelchair and he can't walk and he always hits on the same corner every single day. And I'm not saying this to get some brownie points, and I'm saying this just for an example. Every single day, I hand him a bag of chips and the water because that's really the only thing that I could buy every day, not go broke. But like here, and we see each other every single day, and there are days to where like I feel like shit, but I secretly know it's just a bad day because I do help others. I don't care if anybody knows about it. That's not what I do it for. So Micah, just because you may not be the most positive, which is totally fine in this day and age, I don't blame you. But um, you're not a bad person. You're
Well,
just not. That does
I
not.
don't think she thinks she's a bad person. I want to make that perfectly clear.
Okay. Sorry,
She definitely just believes her mindset is not the most positive. However, in comparison to what? And again, these
yeah.
are all relative statements because we don't know all of Micah's background. I know what I
Right.
know. I don't know what I don't know. But what I do know is where she's at and what her experience in life is might not make you a negative person. In fact,
Right.
it might make you a positive person in your scenario, your situation, your experience. Yeah. So I think this is where the comparison, we believe virtue is, X, Y, and Z, right? But virtue spans. There is no one way to be virtuous. I think this is where the human condition comes in, and we like to judge situations. Right. And I think this is where we don't allow the grace that all human beings truly are looking for, which would then lead me back to an alien thing, which is we view what they do to us as a negative when truly it may not be a negative, right? We don't know what we don't know, and we're seeing it from our viewpoint and they're seeing it from their viewpoint. This is just, I think I think this is the part of what we talk about with paranormal that is, the conversations are so amazing, and Adam Sherfy and Micah and D Hoot and Azariana, hey Rob, and like all the people who join their voices here, Professor T, like there are some beautiful voices here adding their experiences, their theories, their thoughts. Any of this is possible. That board would be so full right now if you could write everything we just said, by the way.
Yeah. You can see that. See, what I need to do is, for those of you who don't know, and this is no relevance to the stream, it's just the right and left of the board is like backroom stuff that I'm doing on my own time. I need to break this down and throw it into a Google Doc so we can actually, write on this whole damn thing. But that's a job for another day. But
yeah, right, D-Hoot. But I think that's just it. Who's the golden rule? Who decided that? And as society, right? This is why I think understanding frequencies, understanding which vibe we are. So we say, well, this person's high vibing because we think they follow all the rules. What freaking rules? And just because you think somebody does X and it's shit doesn't mean that everything they do is shit. And I think this is where we start to lose sight of what's relative, what's not relative. Am I even making sense, Rob? Have you been listening to this conversation?
I was listening up until about 4 minutes ago. I got a phone call I had to take. So yeah, I was listening to a lot of it, and my brain was hurting. I was also working on something else that needs to be done by Tuesday. So I had you guys playing in the background while I was building a website, actually.
I like otters, though, D-Hoot. Do unto otters what you would do have done to you.
Now, Rob, what was your brain hurting because of what we're talking about, or just because I was talking?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just you're really low.
Yeah, your voice is really low.
All right, everyone.
Is your mic even on? I feel like your mic might not be on.
Listen.
Try to look at your input and see if the input's right.
Hello.
Okay, your mic sounds good.
Hello? Anybody?
It's a little better. Still a little.
All right, I'm going to exit and come back first.
No, now I can hear you.
Oh, is that how that works? So, yes, I was listening. But the one theory, thank you, Mike. Micah can hear me and understand me, is that otters are the original alien species.
Why? I don't know what this means, so please elaborate. I don't know what that means. Like,
Yeah, I know. Because when she first got on, I'm like, that's an entirely new room for me. It's got to be one of her daughters because I see the crown.
I am. I'm in one of my girls' rooms.
Yeah. So, yes, I've been listening. It's a very fascinating show. And Trevor, two things. One is, you know, it's hard for me to see your handwriting there, but what we can do is take all of your board. No, you don't have to do all that. We can take your board if you give me closer up pictures of all the text, and we can upload it and have Claude extract it and then actually make some shit out of it and post it up on school.
yeah, I can
Right,
do
and
that.
for all you people out there that aren't on school, too bad.
Join up.
Yeah, thanks
Join
for
up.
contributing.
Right
And
here.
then number two, Trevor,
Yes.
can you say Fort Duffield again? I love you, but I do want to say this. This is one of the coolest shows I've seen on our network in a while. And since Sarah retired and hates social media, I was very surprised to see her actually show up here.
Well, I saw you. I saw your comment, and I did put it up. This is what I'm going to say. If more shows were community driven like this, that offered one space and multiple people's voices to be added together, that's the social media I could get behind. This show
You can just kind of jump in and take over his show every couple of weeks.
I think this is more about what I love about this. We have truly, and it's got my head just spinning. This is what poor Rob has to deal with when I'm like, what do you think of this? And then we just go off on these tangents.
Oh yeah, no, this was like a normal Tuesday morning for me, so I just let it play.
But I love this because it's about paranormal. It's about unexplainable. It's about people's experiences and people's short. Now, I don't know that Azariana is on anymore, but to have somebody open up about that,
Yeah,
it's
very cool.
it's cool. No, he does not hate social media. Don't kid yourself, Adam.
Oh no, Adam, I've always hated it. It's why I was voted the most, the ghost of the best looking alien in future history. How's that? Is my voice better now? I put automatic.
I also don't have. I'm just free earing it here.
Oh. Okay.
I'm guessing whenever you joined, your mic was just closer to the screen than it was to your mouth, and it just wasn't. You weren't sucking on your mic. I'm guessing. That was bad.
Yeah, I
wording,
mean,
but you
I
get my drift.
thoroughly love the whole concept of this show, minus not being able to read the goddamn thing you put up there. But that part is good, right? Because then we can recap it later.
Can
read that.
you? All right. So what I need to do is I need to get. I need to condense all of my personal shit somewhere else so I can write big.
No, you know what you
on
need
here.
to do? You need to do what the tarot card readers do, and that is have one camera on your face and one camera on the board where we watch you write at all times.
Yeah. And I can do that. I just didn't think about that. So next time.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
Cool.
good.
And
She's
are
still
you
here.
streaming this on TikTok?
TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Yes.
Damn, look at you.
There's Azariana still here.
Okay, yeah. So it's like I don't even know what goes on our TikTok. So, good job,
Thank you.
Trevor.
And Sandra.
All right,
Sandra
Sherfy's got a new
Yeah.
theory here. Okay, he's got a new subject, and y'all need to think about
Ugh.
why are there different forms of Bigfoot around the world? Are they the same species, or are they two different species? Because there's one in the cold, there's one in Washington, there's one in Missouri, and are they all the same or are they different? There's actually, we just saw them in Connecticut. Someone saw them.
Michigan.
I saw an amazing video the other day. If it's real, it's really good, but we can't. It's so hard to tell what's real now. Yeah,
Florida.
I
What about
think
Florida and the skunk ape?
yeah, skunk apes. We got everything, man. So Adam, they're every. We've had possible things in Indiana and Kentucky. Um, there's a couple of lines of thought there where they are now. Just so everybody knows, like we are. I'm helping out with Squatch Fest 2027 in Ferdinand, Indiana. It's
Buy tickets.
all Squatch. Tickets are on sale right now. extremeticketing.com/SquatchFest 2027. Anyway, yeah, they're in Connecticut, Louisiana.
But I think we've talked about this before, and Adam Sherfy, I'm curious, would Bigfoot again, if you believe, and there are a couple different camps there. There's the flesh and blood, right? There's the flesh and blood Bigfoot, and then there is the sentient being. Like there's a little bit of interdimensional being. So if it is flesh and blood, is it much like human beings? Is it geographical? Is that what happens? What they look like out in Washington State is very different than what they're going to look like in Florida because of geography, weather, where they can be, where they can hide, where they, what their situation is.
I would assume that would be the flesh and blood version of it, or maybe it's just, I don't know. I'm more of an interdimensional type of dude when it comes to that. We kicked off, and now everybody's doing it. Oh, you won't be there, buddy? I'm sorry. Yeah, we had a great time meeting you guys last year. But, we kicked off our trifecta jam with Ronnie LeBlanc, who also is big into the interdimensional concept. And now, here's what I'm learning now that I'm helping out with a Bigfoot convention is that there's even Bigfoot debunkers. And so every niche has its complainers. But I fall in line with the interdimensional theory because to me it makes the most sense. And the potential I know what I saw. I saw shit. That the potential of what I saw it just wasn't possible as a flesh and blood, a permanent flesh and blood creature.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Sarah forced me to come on. She said, "Hey, why don't you come on for a minute?" I don't know if she needed something.
No, you had talked about your theory, and I want to add one thing though to the Bigfoot thing. Even if it's interdimensional, how the living person who witnessed and the perception of what they remembered and how they describe also could be very geographical. You're in Washington State in the mountains, we fill in the blanks. It's sort of like you only see the first couple letters of a word and you fill that in automatically. So is that what happens when we talk about what we've seen? Do we really describe every piece, right?
Or maybe it is simply just another representation of some paranormal something, because we don't hear about a lot of Bigfoot sightings in Manhattan, right? It's just because culturally, right, it just fucking doesn't happen there. However, in the Appalachia, up in Oregon, that lore is tied to that area. It doesn't mean it's not real. It just might be why they're perceived the way they're perceived. Exactly. Like I can't imagine if they were all look the same, would be kind of dumb. I'm sure they have different features and noses, and some probably have little pigeon-toed feet.
And if they're cross-pollinating, you never know. If that's what's happening. I think it's all Adam Sherfy. I think it's an amazing question, and I think these are the things that often these. I agree with Rob, Trevor. I think this concept of this show is one that has been missing for so long because you're not offering an opinion. You're you're opening space for people to throw questions out there, things that we're afraid to ask. And I don't know why I've been thinking about aliens and if they believe. I love Wade's question. I didn't I post that, Rob? Didn't I come to you and say, do aliens, if God has created all universe, all of the universe and all the galaxies, like wouldn't they have a belief of him as well?
Yes, that was a conversation we had not a long time ago. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So it's all very unique and an amazing concept.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to, like ever since school got created, or we started the university, and we've been trying to apply what we're doing on school to the group page at the time. There was quite a few posts, excluding the "Would you have dinner with Zach Bacon's" post. There was a lot of posts that were like, you know, about equipment. How do you feel about this, that, and the other thing? And I saw countless comments where people were in separate conversations. People were having a conversation here, and here. But I was reading through all of them, and I was like, there were certain comments in conversation 3 that applied to 1, and certain comments in 2 that applied to 5. And then I'm like, I love this, but I wish there was a better way to visually make it cohesive. So I'm like, so then I never watched the show, but what's that meme where the guy's on a whiteboard and he's acting crazy? The Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That meme, it popped in my head, and I'm like, that meme kind of inspired the lighting the fire of this, and I'm like, what if we could take a whiteboard concept and make it fun and entertaining, but also make you think? And then
I love
bada
it.
bing, bada boom.
I think it's awesome.
Well, I hope you.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rob.
No, ladies first.
No, I hope that what you get from each show, that you do put them on school for people to continue, because this could be part of the lab, right? This could be part of the Get Haunted University lab.
And there's really no reason to do a shit ton of work. Just again, send me the photos sequentially, not Trevor style, and just so they make sense. And then I can upload them. I'll have Claude kind of summarize it, put it into a nice little thing that we can share on school.
You tapping for Osriel?
There's a lot to, like, this is it. Like, this sort of is the visual representation of what we tried to do on the network, unsuccessfully sometimes, and sometimes very successfully, but getting people to talk, and I think the live component, it makes it a lot more fun. Now, over on school, imagine how fun this would be if we did it on school, right? Because you'd have everybody up there, and it would be like an actual round table, an actual symposium, an actual get together. It'd be fly and dope.
See
now,
what? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What this is just an idea that I just thought of this concept, or at least like layout. What if in the future, if we wanted to make the start of a conversation or a fresh journey of this a school exclusive, and then once we've built a good foundation for what we were theorizing and have a good amount of notes, a good amount of ideas to follow along a path, then we bring it to Facebook and YouTube.
I actually think the other way around, and here's why, right? Because we do have, and Sarah, you can throw your opinion in here. We have 70 some odd on school, 7,000. It does, Micah. 7,000 here on Facebook, right? Plus whatever organic reach. So you're going to get a lot more. I think we'll get a lot more opinions and thoughts, right? Then look, if you want, the, the results, you got to come over to school, right? It's a fair ask, because there will be work put into the end result, whether it's cool graphic or a report or whatever the hell we end up putting together. We love talking with everyone, but we also really love sharing actual work and things. So these things all take time, right, out of our days. Right now, Sarah should be, scrubbing toilets and
I actually was
I know, because it's all she does. She scrubs toilets and folds laundry. That's if you don't hear from Sarah, that's what she's doing, poisoning herself with a lot of bleach.
It's a true story.
It's a true story. I'm not joking. And that was not a sexist comment. That was literally what she did.
Oh no! It was chore time. It was chore time, and Trevor was like, "I'm going to be." He was late. He was supposed to go on at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, good," because I was in the middle.
Oh, the shitter. So, what do you think, Sarah Jane? Do we do this part here on Facebook and then have the fun after party on school?
Okay.
Gather the thoughts, gather the theories, start putting them in the lab. And then, yes, I think if you want to see how then the people on school, and Micah, I think you would be great for this. The people in school, those are people who are invested. They're not scrolling and happen, this is not a slam on anybody. People are invested over in school. And so they're ready to dig into this kind of work. And I think giving them okay, here are some questions, here are some thoughts. Where do these fit in? Right? Where do we go from here? Ask better questions. Was I frozen?
No. I just had a thought.
What?
Right. So let's say we summarize one of these, this piece here. And then we drop that summary, sort of a high level analysis over on the school. Now, what anybody watching right now should understand about school, if you haven't heard us talk about it, it's like we don't want to be the only content creators over there, the authors. We want you to be that. So what if that summary became whoever wants to write about this, let someone take those results. Yes, take those results and then turn it into your own lecture or a course over there that we can all read and listen to. It could be really cool. Just a thought while Rob's sitting here.
And what I like about that is it is about peer review, and that is, we hear the word, I do this very scientifically. We use that thrown around a lot. And the reality is part of that scientific motive is then standing up in front of your peers and letting them see if now you can move forward in your theory, right? Does it shut up.
I had to put that on.
Yeah, how to get people killed easily. Oh, shite. I almost forgot about that. Those moments from death. You would have been so screwed too. You were just oof. Anyways. Yeah,
I love this idea. So yes, Rob, 1,000%. I agree with you.
Okay, cool.
One question that I have for all the viewers here. This is the most interaction that we've had on one of these streams in a while, so I kind of want to ask and get the input of the community itself. The name of this stream, On the Whiteboard, do we like it, or do we want to change it? Yeah, I'm gonna see what
there's two. I only have two requests, right?
Okay.
Is that painter's tape holding that board up?
So two things to add because they tie in. So One, this is adhesive whiteboard tape, so it's just stuck on. This isn't like an actual like wood frame. It's just a sticker board, and also the tape. The tape. If you could see that,
Oh, I
the
see it.
tape is the painter's tape is a backrooms movie thing. It's like a thing with the movie. So in the
Okay.
movie, whenever they enter the back rooms is entered through a wall. You phase through a wall. You
Okay.
can't see the door. So in the movie, he marks the part of the wall, the door to the back rooms with painter's tape. So I just thought it'd be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
it
was
has a
just
reason.
curious because
Yeah.
everything else is amazing.
Go watch the back rooms if you have 2 hours to go and waste. It's a long movie.
Yeah, no, I because if that was an actual whiteboard, I know how heavy they are, and
Oh
I'm
no,
like, how's that staying up there?
it's just so the thing is I had the money to buy an actual whiteboard, but I wanted to buy one in person because shipping that large of a thing, I didn't want it to
Yeah.
break in transit. So I either could buy a whiteboard this size for $300, or I could buy the right amount of adhesive tape to put on my wall for the same size for $80. So I'm like, $80 is
Okay.
better than
Yeah.
300.
Listen, none of that, Matt. I just wanted to make sure you were safe because
Oh yeah.
in my 24 years at Rico, I had literally what they called the world's largest whiteboard. It was 21 feet, 21 feet wide by. Oh yeah, I love whiteboards. It's the only way I used to. I'll find a picture and send it to you. But anyway,
It's
enough.
I do like On the Whiteboard, to answer your question. I think it's a great name for the show.
Cool. Was
I would
that
just call it on
whiteboard?
the board, just to keep it safe. What?
Oh, Adam Sherfy's got fighting words. Hey, Adam
Wait.
Sherfy. Two
What's
out
the
of the
matter?
three of us, right? On the
I never.
we
All
like.
right. So Adam,
Oh,
I won't go deep into it now, but just a FYI, on my personal channel, VHFADT.tape, I'll link it on my Facebook. Just follow me or whatever on Facebook. I am done with editing. I'm about to start a whole series on my channel about how liminality theory, backrooms, and paranormal all combine. So come to my videos and either like and subscribe or leave me hate comments. I don't care either way. But come watch my shit. Come talk shit or come like my shit. I don't care, but come watch my shit.
Stacy, I almost put that up.
don't do stupid shit, Stace. Jesus. Yeah. Hey, Walzak, we were just talking about you the other day. I want to talk to you about something. So, let's talk. The faith board sounds very church-like. So no.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate you wanting to name this beautiful idea after the smartest man alive, but yeah, that sounds too much like
Or
church.
you could say have faith in the board, or the
Ooh.
board. Yeah, the board of faith. Nah.
Belief board, if you're gonna have
about-
it.
How
The
about
Board of Faith sounds like a live stream only church.
That sounds like a cult.
yeah?
Don't do that.
Wait, the camera's up here. I don't know why I
When
looked
are
at
you
my
doing this
laptop.
again? It's been a while. We haven't been a cult.
Yeah,
we
so-
got demoted from cult status. The fuck? When are you
So
doing
when-
this again?
I could make it a every weekend thing.
All right, Ozzy, slow down.
Wait, what?
I
I was like, Ozzy. Hey, that's the best compliment I've got
It's
for my
crazy
speech impediment
train.
ever.
That was the beginning of the board of
Rob.
Okay, now someone clip that and remix that shit, please.
All right. Oh yeah, I'm good at those. Anyway,
Hey Claude, make this guy who can't talk sound like Ozzy Osbourne.
this is what happens. So, yeah, if you have us back,
Of
I
course.
have
couldn't
us
type it. I was like trying to get my thought, and it was just like, I'm just gonna go on.
Yeah, like in hindsight, if you tried to type everything that you said, this would be a 6-hour stream.
yeah, listen, Sarah. When Sarah starts riffing, they start coming in, and it's fractured. I get it because she types out before she's finished. Anyway, yeah, I'll throw my wackadoodle theory up next time. I mean, you guys are an hour and 40 minutes now. Plus, I have work to do. Sarah's got,
Toilets to finish.
toilets to scrub.
And I need to eat because I haven't ate since like.
There's a lot of shit going on tonight that's going to get us canceled, but that's okay because we hate social media. We don't like being on lives.
We're like, screw social media, but let's have some real conversations.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trevor,
It's
for
more
letting
fun
us.
being the guest.
Of course. But yeah, this I don't have time. Obviously, the weekday stuff. So for those of you who are
I
deeply,
don't need your whole schedule. I was just
No,
I was just curious. Like if you're going to do this
No.
again in a couple weeks, we'll do it. That's fine.
I'm building off of this. So what my plan is for building off of the whiteboard is that for TikTok during the weekday, on TikTok, asking questions on TikTok gets you nowhere. You just got to tell people shit, and you can't make them think, or else they don't want to
Are you
watch.
still streaming to TikTok right now? You might
TikTok's
want to just stop talking.
No, like I'm like
This should be probably a private conversation.
No, just the algorithm likes when videos give you information, not when you ask a question. So what I'm gonna do is for everyone that's watching on TikTok, which is no one at the moment, because I've been doing this for an hour and a half. I think y'all came and gone. It's totally fine. I love you all, but I am going to take everything that we talked about and then kind of make like a video explaining the concept of where our minds were going, and then make that into content on TikTok. So Facebook and YouTube and school will get the process of it, and then TikTok will get a entertaining aspect of where we were going with it.
Cool.
During the weekday.
Love it.
Sounds perfect. I always get people asking me like, dude, like what do you do on TikTok? I'm like, I don't. And Trevor does it all. I have no idea what you could be like punting babies off of cliffs, and I would never know. So, like 300.
Just
Well,
on
we'd
the
be really popular.
Do it. Yeah, imagine like
views.
we post paranormal stuff and paranormal memes and jokes, and we get like 300 views, and next you know, I'm punting babies and millions of views.
I was referring to the movie 300 before that gets isolated. Look, there's a lot worse shit going on right now, so I can pretty much say whatever I want.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Good deal.
All right. Well, thank
All
you,
right,
Trevor.
good job, Trevorina.
Thank you. This will be and a every Sunday thing, unless something pops up on a Sunday and that needs more priority. But this should be an every Sunday thing.
And it was really, really nice to meet you, Azariana. Thank you for sharing your experiences, and we hope to learn more about you. And Adam Sherfy, thank you for sharing your voice tonight. You were in there throwing your theories. Micah, same. And of course, Damien. It's always nice to see Damien come back. And Professor T and Rob Walzak, and
Yeah, Walzak, like he went radio silent for a while, but I do have a favor, Rob, or a question. Actually, it's not exactly a favor, but we'll talk to you.
Yeah, you do. We're just your guest, Trevor. You do what you got to do to end it.
You can boot us off. I'm out.
I can do the outro now and say bye to everyone with the two of you. This isn't just my thing. I created this with the idea of school in mind. So this is both of y'all's thing as well. I'm just here to commandeer it. You guys scare me.
Yeah,
But
that's not always. That's not the right word.
oh, is comedy or not
Commandeer
the
is
right
like
word?
that's what pirates do. They commandeer shit
Oh,
and
well, yeah,
hijackers.
fuck it. I don't care. You can steal that shit away from me. I don't care.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't have a copyright. You can steal that shit. I didn't file a patent or whatever that shit's called. I don't know. I don't know how that shit works. I just show up and talk, and hopefully I don't stutter too fucking much. That's all I hope for. Fort Duffield. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you to everyone, to Micah, to Adam, to Rob, to Damien, to D Hoot, to Stacy, to everyone. This will be an every Sunday thing. Look out for this stuff on TikTok as well, as far as what came out of this. And we've already overflowed you with a lot of information, so I'm going to go and kind of end the outro there. Thank you all. Talk soon. Rob, Sarah, you guys have any behind the scenes things you want to tease or talk about, things that are happening now that I don't know about or anything? Like any shout outs, any this will school, be sure to join Get Haunted University on school.com. The link's in chat somewhere. Other than that, thank you all. Talk soon. Be safe. Sleep safe. Bye.
Want to see my dragon?